Good news, friends. We've got another optics video, and what that means is even if you could care less about the Aimpoint Comp M5, we've got a video of nothing but straight up gun porn lined up for you, because we've had this on some pretty impressive weapons over the last few months while we've been reviewing it. Aimpoint has long been thought of as the king of the mountain when it comes to red dot sights, and the top of the Aimpoint lineup is the Comp series. Of course, being the best of the best comes with a price tag. All Aimpoints are pretty pricey, and the Comp M5 being their premier offering, well, it ain't cheap. Aimpoints are also very well known and respected for their toughness. It was once thought of as an impossible bar that they set, and they said no one would ever be able to reach it. However, in recent years, the quality and build of other optics has increased, and now some are getting close to that unattainable level that Aimpoint has set. All that being said, I still use an Aimpoint on my bump in the night rifle, and if my life is on the line, I'd prefer an Aimpoint as my optics system. I can't have an Aimpoint on all 5 of my rifles, that's all I have left after the boating accident. That's why I'm always on the lookout for good alternatives. We're going to go into the basic features of the Aimpoint Comp M5 and then take a look at whether or not it's worth it for you to fork out this kind of dough to get an Aimpoint. Or given your situation, would something cheaper serve you just as well? With the success and the industry's love of the size of the Micro series, Aimpoint decided to shrink down the Comp M4 and offer consumers, whether it be military, law enforcement, or civilian shooters, a tougher, more robust optic in a smaller package like the Micro T2. Weight is a big thing these days, and everything is trying to get lighter and maintain toughness. The Comp M5 weighs in at 5.2 ounces, which is a little heavier than the T2 at 3.3 ounces, but much lighter than the Comp M4 at 9.4 ounces, so it's still impressively light. The biggest deal about this is you're going to get the ridiculous level of toughness the Aimpoint Comp series is known for in a much smaller, more compact package, and of course the more readily available AAA battery source. In some parts of the world, apparently 2032s that power the T2 are a little harder to come by, and for some other reasons that will never affect the average shooter watching this video, the Comp M5 is powered by one AAA battery. From what I would consider the average shooter's perspective, here's the pluses and minuses to that. First off, you still get 50,000 hours of constant on, so you can leave this running for 5 years and it will still be working on the AAA battery, so battery life isn't a problem. It also moves the on-off switch and brightness settings to a place that I actually like better than on the T2. Quick note here, there is actually a little play in the dial, and that is so should it get caught in gear, it will have some give before it actually changes the setting. The only real negative I see is that you basically have a AAA battery hanging on the side of your sight, making it a little larger than the T2. As a right-hander, this has very little effect on me, but for a left-hand shooter there may be some obstruction in peripheral vision. The clarity and the dot are also clearer and crisper than probably just about anything I've seen. The Comp M4 and T2 are both phenomenal, but this seems to nudge that super high level of excellence just a little further. Probably won't come through very well on camera, but here it is. In my eyes, one of the greatest things Aimpoint did was make the footprint the same as the Micro series. This means that there are tons of high quality, readily available mounts ready to go for this unit. Wish they had done that with the Acro. The windage and elevation turrets are shrouded just like the T2. There's now double O-rings on the battery compartment, and there's also now a protective lens in front of the front lens, again just making it that much tougher. This also greatly increases the underwater rating. In case you want to go scuba diving with your AR to hunt for a megalodon, the Comp M5 can be your sight. Basically, in a nutshell, Aimpoint took the toughest sight and made it tougher. They also took what was arguably the clearest sight with the crispest dot and improved ever so slightly on that as well. If you're looking to get an Aimpoint Comp M5 or something else a little more budget friendly, Optics Planet has them and you can save a little cash with the code ALArsenal5. You get the gear you want and it helps the channel out a little bit at the same time. It's a win for everybody. We've been testing this thing for probably about 8 months on a bunch of different platforms and it's been nothing but flawless. We won't be torture testing it, mainly because of the cost, but also because those tests are to see if cheaper dots can survive what an Aimpoint can. We will, however, be doing some new torture tests for some budget optics in the near future, so stay tuned for that. If you have to have the absolute best, toughest red dot made, this is it. If you like flexing on the pores, this is your site. If you didn't have many toys as a child and are making up for it now, this is for you. If you feel like no one likes you, so you try to compensate through gear therapy, this is, well, you get the idea. In all seriousness, if you kick in bad guys' doors for a living or are actually fighting terrorists in your day job, this is an excellent site for you. For the rest of us, it is essentially a luxury item. Normally I don't quote prices because they change over time, but at the time this video is being produced, Optics Planet has the Comp M5 for $776 and the Kinetic Developments Group mount for right at $130 for a grand total of $906, and that is a lot of coin. So the question is always, is it worth it? That is always in the eye of the beholder. To me it is. It's a stretch on the budget, but I have a few aim points and know what to expect from their quality, and to me it is worth it. Now, will I be getting a second one? That'll probably be a no. Not because I don't love the site, but because I don't want to tie up that much money into the exact same optic twice. You may agree or disagree with that, but that's how I feel. Now, if somehow I came into a bunch of money, I probably would get a few more. I already said, if God forbid my life is on the line, I'd feel better with an Aimpoint on top of my gun. However, it really doesn't do anything that much cheaper dots don't do, and if buying this means you might miss your mortgage, your rent, or the kids don't get fed, then no, it's definitely not worth it. It's the absolute best made, and for some people nothing less will work. For many of us though, there are a lot of other good options on the market, and a good set of backup irons never hurts either. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And if you're in the need of any new optics or anything else Optics Planet sells, just keep in mind you can save a little cash with the code ALArsenal5. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. As always, we have some really big reviews in the pipeline that you won't want to miss. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to find out what we are currently reviewing way before it hits the YouTube channel. If you want to help support Alabama Arsenal, the best possible way to do that is on Patreon. These videos are surprisingly expensive to make, and every little bit helps out a lot. There's also gear available right below the video if you want to go out and represent. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.